Hello students, today we'll start with the second chapter from your 12th standard syllabus, that is mechanical properties of fluids. In last year, that is in 11th standard, you must have studied about the mechanical properties of solids. So let's see what are fluids and their properties. Now what are fluids? So in previous standards, you must have studied about three states of matter: solids, liquids and gases. Now what is the difference between solids, liquids and gases? So solids possess definite volume and definite shape. Then the liquids possess definite volume but no definite shape. And the gases does not have any definite shape or definite volume. So this is the basic difference between solids, liquids and gases. Now what are fluids? Any substance that can flow is called a fluid. तो आपको पता है लिक्विड्स कैन फ्लो एज वेल एज गैसेस कैन फ्लो, एक जगह से दूसरी जगह जा सकते हैं. तो द सब्सटेंस दैट कैन फ्लो इज कॉल्ड फ्लूइड एंड देयरफॉर लिक्विड्स एंड गैसेस कलेक्टिवली कॉल्ड एज फ्लूइड्स. नाउ व्हाट आर द एग्जांपल्स ऑफ फ्लूइड्स? एयर, वाटर, फ्लोर डो, टूथपेस्ट. जो भी लिक्विड और गैस स्टेट में होगा, ऑल दीज आर फ्लूइड्स एंड दैट कैन फ्लो. So whenever external force is applied to fluid, it cannot resist it, or it cannot resist the deformation, and therefore it starts flowing. So a fluid is a substance that deforms continuously under the action of an external force and starts flowing. Now what are the properties of fluids? So in this chapter we are going to study the fluid at rest. So the property of fluid which is at rest, then the property of fluid which is in motion, and the third property is nothing but surface tension property. So to understand the behavior of fluids, we make some simple assumptions. तो ये assumptions हमने क्यों किए? क्योंकि if fluid is in motion, to understand it, it becomes very complicated, and therefore we consider it as an ideal fluid and we make some simple assumptions as properties of ideal fluid. So it is incompressible. So fluid is incompressible. So it is not applicable for gases. Gases are also fluids, but is not applicable for gases. But liquids are incompressible. Incompressible मतलब क्या होगा? It has fixed volume and there is no change in its density. तो हम उसको कंप्रेस नहीं कर सकते. गैसेस को हम कंप्रेस कर सकते हैं, उनका वॉल्यूम क्या हो सकता है? डिक्रीज हो सकता है. बट liquids are incompressible. Now its flow is irrotational, smooth and non-turbulent. Now what do you mean by non-turbulent? तो अगर turbulent है फ्लो में, turbulence है फ्लो में, तो वहाँ पे हर जगह velocity changes in magnitude and direction in random manner, and it's difficult to study the behavior of fluid which is in motion. So we assume that the flow is irrotational, that is smooth or non-turbulent. Clear? Its flow is steady. What do you mean by that? Its velocity at each point is constant in time. तो फ्लो स्टडी है मतलब क्या? एक पॉइंट पे अगर वेलोसिटी 1 मीटर पर सेकेंड है और दूसरे पॉइंट पे सपोज 2 मीटर पर सेकेंड है, तो हर बार उसी पॉइंट पे 1 मीटर पर सेकेंड ही होगा और दूसरे पॉइंट पे 2 मीटर पर सेकेंड ही होगा. सो इट्स कॉल्ड स्टेडी फ्लो. वेलोसिटी में एट अ गिवन पॉइंट चेंजेस नहीं आएंगे, ना मैग्नीट्यूड में ना डायरेक्शन में. क्लियर? Now it is non-viscous, so there is no internal friction in the flow. जैसे solid surfaces जब भी दो contact में होते हैं, तो there is a force, tangential force developed between the two surfaces in contact, which opposes the relative motion between the two surfaces, and it is called friction. Clear? So वैसा ही friction fluid में होता है क्या? तो it is assumed that it is non-viscous, there is no internal friction in the flow. But in reality, the real fluids display viscosity. तो इसका मतलब क्या है कि रियल फ्लूइड्स में विस्कोसिटी होता है, it exhibits this property of viscosity or fluid friction. Now here we will observe one more property of ideal fluids, but before that we'll revise some terms that we have studied in mechanical properties of solids. So in mechanical properties we have studied about internal restoring force, deforming force, stress and strain. So there we have studied that when solids are subjected to deforming force. Now what is deforming force? The force which changes the shape or size or both shape and size of the object. So when solids are subjected to deforming force, they change their shape or size or both shape and size temporarily. So this deformation is not permanent if the forces are applied to certain limit. So the solids can regain their shape or size when the deforming forces are removed. Now why they regain their original shape and size? Because when deforming forces are applied on the solids, the internal restoring force is developed within the body which opposes the change in shape or size of the object, and therefore the solids can regain their original shape and size as soon as the deforming forces are removed. So solids can be subjected to forces, shear stress, tangential stress, which is also called as tangential stress, and normal stress. So normal stress, maybe there are two types, compressive stress and tensile stress. So if you observe the diagram, in the first diagram, you will observe the compressive stress is there. तो यहाँ पे एक्सटर्नल फोर्स क्या कर रहा है, डिफॉर्मिंग फोर्स कंप्रेस करने की कोशिश कर रहा है, तो यहाँ पे जो भी स्ट्रेस डेवलप होगा दैट इज कॉल्ड कंप्रेसिव स्ट्रेस. देन इन द सेकेंड डायग्राम, जो एक्सटर्नल फोर्स है वो क्या कर रहा है, उसको स्ट्रेच कर रहा है, उसका लेंथ डायमेंशन चेंज करने की कोशिश कर रहा है, इंक्रीज करने की कोशिश कर रहा है, तो दिस इज कॉल्ड द स्ट्रेस डेवलप विद इन द बॉडी इज कॉल्ड टेंसाइल स्ट्रेस. But ideal fluids can only be subjected to normal compressive stress. तो सॉलिड्स में कंप्रेसिव स्ट्रेस भी होगा और टेंसाइल स्ट्रेस भी होगा, बट फ्लूइड्स में सिर्फ क्या रहता है, नॉर्मल कंप्रेसिव स्ट्रेस. तो अगर आप यहाँ पे डायग्राम देखते हो तो देयर इज अ सरफेस of area dA and this surface is within a fluid which is at rest. So the surface does not accelerate, so the surrounding fluid exerts equal normal forces on both sides of it. तो यहाँ पे एक सरफेस है और वो किससे सराउंड हुआ है, फ्लूइड से सराउंड हुआ है, तो इसके ऊपर जो फोर्सेस एक्ट होंगे वो कैसे होंगे, नॉर्मल होंगे, नॉर्मल फोर्सेस रहेंगे, एंड फ्रॉम बोथ द साइड द इक्वल अमाउंट ऑफ फोर्सेस आर एक्टिंग इन नॉर्मल डायरेक्शन. तो यहाँ पे अगर आप देखते हो दिस इज वर्टिकल सरफेस एंड द फोर्सेस व्हिच आर एक्टिंग नॉर्मल टू द सरफेस आर इक्वल इन मैग्नीट्यूड फ्रॉम बोथ द साइड्स आर F. Then this is a horizontal surface and the forces acting are equal in magnitude from both the sides and these are normal forces, and this is nothing but area A जिसके ऊपर ये force क्या हो रहा है, act हो रहा है. Clear? So if the surface does not accelerate, the fluid, surrounding fluid exert equal normal forces on both the side of it, and the ideal fluids thus can be subjected only to normal compressive stress. तो यहाँ पे tensile stress नहीं होता. And ideal fluids cannot resist any shear force. Now what is shear force, that we'll see in next slide. Now we'll see what is tangential stress or shear stress. So first we'll consider the case of solids. So suppose there is a rubber cube which is placed on the bottom surface and the force is applied on this rubber cube in such a way that there is no change in the size of the object or rubber cube, but there is change in the shape of the cube. So यहाँ पे इस डायरेक्शन में फोर्स अप्लाई किया है, ऐसे फोर्स अप्लाई किया है कि इट इज पैरेलल टू द बॉटम सरफेस एंड द टॉप सरफेस ऑफ द क्यूब, एंड द बॉटम सरफेस इज फिक्स्ड whereas the top surface is displaced slightly. So ये कितने एंगल से डिस्प्लेस हुआ है, so with respect to this bottom layer, it is displaced through an angle alpha. So such a force is called tangential force, and the internal restoring force per unit area developed, which is due to the applied tangential force, is called tangential stress or shear stress. So here F upon A, where A is nothing but the area of the top surface or bottom surface, So force per unit area developed is directly proportional to shear strain which is angle alpha. जितना angle alpha ज़्यादा होगा उतना shear stress क्या होगा ज़्यादा होगा. So internal restoring force उतना ज़्यादा develop होगा. So F upon A directly proportional to alpha. Now when this external force is removed, it again regains its original shape. So thus the solids resist any applied shear force or tangential force. But the fluids cannot resist the shear force, and as soon as the force is applied, they start deforming continuously and they start flowing. So deform होना start करते हैं मतलब वो क्या करते हैं flow होना start करते हैं क्योंकि वो shear force को oppose नहीं कर सकते. Clear? And deforms continuously under the applied shear. Stress is proportional to strain rate. Clear? तो यहाँ पे अगर आप देखते हो फ्लूइड जो है वो फ्लूइड नंबर ऑफ लेयर्स में डिवाइडेड है और हर लेयर का स्पीड क्या है डिफरेंट है. सो व्हेन फ्लूइड इज इन मोशन shear stresses are developed due to the particles in the fluid moving relative to one another. So shear forces are present because the adjacent layer of fluid move at different velocities compared to each other. So the layer which is in contact with the bottom surface is moving slower, whereas the speed increases in the upward direction and the topmost layer moves with the maximum velocity. So this is the faster moving layer. Clear? So as there is difference in the velocities of the layers with respect to each other, the faster moving layer tries to accelerate the lower layer and whereas the slower layer tries to drag the upper layer. तो यहाँ पे ये क्या कर रहा है उसको डीएसेलरेट करेगा नीचे वाला लेयर इस लेयर को उसका स्पीड कम करने की कोशिश करेगा वेयर एज द अपर लेयर ट्राइज टू एसेलरेट द लोअर लेयर तो उसका स्पीड क्या करने की कोशिश करेगा इंक्रीज करने की कोशिश करेगा. सो देयर इज अ टेंजेंशियल फोर्स बिटवीन दीज टू लेयर्स. तो हर लेयर्स के बीच में क्या होगा टेंजेंशियल फोर्स अपोजिंग फोर्स एक्ट होगा एंड दैट इज नथिंग बट विस्कस ड्रैग और विस्कस फोर्स. So ideal fluids cannot exhibit this property, will not exhibit this property, but the real fluids exhibit the property of viscosity. Clear? So now we'll see the properties of real fluid. So as you know, they cannot resist the shear force, so they do not oppose the deformation. They get permanently deformed and starts flowing. They have ability to flow. वो डिफॉर्मेशन को अपोज नहीं कर पा रहे सो दे हैव एबिलिटी टू फ्लो वो फ्लो ना स्टार्ट करेंगे. दे हैव एबिलिटी टू टेक द शेप ऑफ कंटेनर. नाउ यू नो दैट द लिक्विड्स डू नॉट पोजेस एनी फिक्स शेप बट दे हैव फिक्स्ड वॉल्यूम. सो दे हैव एबिलिटी टू टेक द शेप ऑफ द कंटेनर. जिस भी कंटेनर में आप डालोगे उसका शेप ले लेंगे बट दे हैव डेफिनाइट वॉल्यूम. इट शोज द प्रॉपर्टी ऑफ विस्कोसिटी. तो यहाँ पे हमने देखा कि ये डिफरेंट लेयर्स है वो डिफरेंट वेलोसिटीज से मूव कर रहे हैं. तो देयर इज अ टेंजेंशियल फोर्स बिटवीन देम एंड देयर इज अ फ्लूइड फ्रिक्शन. सो इट शोज द प्रॉपर्टी ऑफ विस्कोसिटी. द shear modulus of fluid is 0 or fluid cannot resist any shear force applied to them. So these are the properties of real fluid. पहले हमने जो देखा था वो properties किसका था आइडियल फ्लूइड का था और हमने आइडियल फ्लूइड इसलिए कंसिडर किया था क्योंकि हमें उसका मोशन स्टडी करना इजी हो. क्लियर? बट दीज आर द रियल प्रॉपर्टीज ऑफ द फ्लूइड. Now we'll define pressure of a fluid. So you know that when you place any solid object over a surface, suppose the area of the surface is A, then due to its weight it exerts force on it. Suppose F is the force exerted by that object on the surface, then the effect of force, which is also called as pressure, is calculated with the formula F upon A. So pressure is nothing but force per unit area. So effect of force increases if area decreases and effect of force decreases if area increases, and that's why a small needle can puncture your skin whereas marker cannot. तो निडल के केस में फोर्स अप्लाइड बहुत स्मॉल एरिया में स्प्रेड होता है एंड देयरफॉर इन दैट केस प्रेशर विल बी मोर. बट इन केस ऑफ मार्कर सरफेस एरिया जिसके साथ वो फोर्स एक्सर्ट कर रहे हैं, जिसके ऊपर वो फोर्स एक्सर्ट कर रहा है वो क्वाइट लार्ज है, एंड देयरफॉर in that case pressure will be less. So it not only depends on the magnitude of the force but also on area on which it is acting, force is acting. So you know that the fluids or liquids also possess weight, and due to their weights they exert force. So जिस भी वेसल में हमने फ्लूइड को लिया है या लिक्विड को लिया है, it exerts force not only on the bottom but also on the walls of the containing vessel. So it exerts the normal force. So this is nothing but normal because it is perpendicular to the surface area in contact. So it pushes on all walls of a container with equal pressure in all directions. अगर हमने यहाँ पे कोई ऑब्जेक्ट भी इमर्स किया तो वो ऑब्जेक्ट में भी क्या करेगा, सभी डायरेक्शंस में फोर्स एक्सर्ट करेगा. सो जिस भी एरिया के वो कांटेक्ट में आएगा उसके ऊपर नॉर्मल फोर्स एक्सर्ट करेगा. क्लियर? समझ में आ रही है बात? तो हाउ टू कैलकुलेट दिस प्रेशर? सो व्हाट इज फ्लूइड प्रेशर? नॉर्मल फोर्स एक्सर्टेड बाय फ्लूइड at rest per unit surface area in contact. So अगर F perpendicular is the force magnitude which is acting perpendicular to the surface area in contact, and the area of the surface is A over which it is acting, then per unit area the pressure is nothing but force per unit area. So pressure is nothing but force, but it is the force per unit area. So normal force exerted by fluid at rest per unit surface area in contact is called as the pressure of fluid. So उसका खुद का कुछ ना कुछ वेट है, उसकी वजह से वो क्या एक्सर्ट करेगा, फोर्स एक्सर्ट करेगा. और यहाँ पे वो फोर्स नॉर्मल डायरेक्शन में एक्सर्ट करेगा perpendicular to the surface in contact. So if A is the area over which the force acting is F perpendicular, तो पर यूनिट एरिया कितना फोर्स एक्ट होगा, दैट इज नथिंग बट प्रेशर. क्लियर? नाउ द एसआई यूनिट ऑफ प्रेशर इज, फोर्स किसमें मेजर होता है, न्यूटन, एरिया मेजर होता है मीटर स्क्वायर, एसआई यूनिट, एंड देयरफॉर द एसआई यूनिट ऑफ प्रेशर इज न्यूटन पर मीटर स्क्वायर. नाउ 1 न्यूटन पर मीटर स्क्वायर इज आल्सो कॉल्ड एज 1 पास्कल, एंड द डायमेंशंस ऑफ प्रेशर आर, फोर्स का डायमेंशन होता है m1 l1 t raised to -2, that is mass into acceleration, and area that is L raised to 2. So denominator से L raised to 2 अगर ऊपर गया तो क्या हो जाएगा, L raised to -2. So ये बनेगा यहाँ पे m1 L -1 t raised to -2. Clear? Now pressure is a scalar quantity. Why it is a scalar quantity? Force तो vector quantity है, area भी vector होता है, but यहाँ पे force का direction क्या हो गया, fix हो गया, which is perpendicular to the surface in contact, and therefore pressure is a scalar quantity. So it is independent of direction, it's a scalar quantity. Now pressure का और यूनिट्स कौन सा है, तो ये 1 न्यूटन पर मीटर स्क्वायर छोटा यूनिट है, 1 पास्कल बहुत ही छोटा यूनिट है. तो अर्थ एटमॉस्फेयर जो होता है उसका भी एक प्रेशर होता है विच इज कॉल्ड 1 एटमॉस्फेरिक प्रेशर. तो 1 एटमॉस्फेरिक प्रेशर का वैल्यू होता है 1.013 इंटू 10⁵ न्यूटन पर मीटर स्क्वायर, and 1 bar pressure is nearly equal to 1 atmospheric pressure, which is equal to 10⁵ Newton per meter square. So other common units of measuring pressure of a gas are bar, ATM, atmospheric pressure, and torr. मर्क्यूरी के टर्म्स में भी मेजर किया जाता है 760 mm of mercury. Clear? So these are the different units of pressure. Now what do you mean by 1 atmospheric pressure? ये हम नेक्स्ट स्लाइड में देखेंगे. In atmospheric pressure. Now we know that the fluid which is at rest exerts force or pressure on the surface with which it comes into contact. So now first we'll study the pressure due to the liquid column. So we'll find an expression for the pressure due to the liquid column at depth h within a fluid. So now this is nothing but, suppose, vessel containing fluid of density rho. Now to find the pressure due to the liquid column, we'll consider that there is an imaginary cylinder within the fluid. Now this is not actual cylinder, but it's a cylinder of fluid only, and we'll consider that the height of this fluid column is H and the cross sectional area is A. So this is a cylinder having cross sectional area A and H is nothing but the height of the liquid column. So now we'll find out the pressure at this point due to this cylinder. Now we know that the fluid possesses weight, and because of that weight it exerts force, that is pressure, on the surface with which it is in contact. Now let us consider an imaginary cylinder of cross-sectional area A and height h inside the container, which is the imaginary cylinder. The pressure which is exerted by the liquid column on the bottom of cylinder is nothing but P is equal to force upon area. So F is nothing but perpendicular force upon area on which it is acting. So now P is equal to, what is force? The force exerted by this cylinder, imaginary cylinder, which is a fluid column, is nothing but the weight of the cylinder or weight of the fluid column which is acting on this cross sectional area A. Clear? So F is nothing but weight of the fluid which is inside this cylinder, and which is nothing but M into G, where M is nothing but the mass of the fluid inside this cylinder. So P is equal to mg upon A. Now where F is equal to mg, force exerted by liquid column, which is nothing but its weight. Now how to calculate M, that is mass of the cylinder or mass of the fluid column inside the cylinder, that is equal to volume of cylinder into density of liquid. Now already we have considered that the liquid density is rho. Then volume of the cylinder is nothing but its cross sectional area into height. So mass is nothing but area into height into density. So AH rho is nothing but mass of the fluid column. Clear? So weight of this fluid column is nothing but M into G, that is AH rho G upon area is nothing but pressure exerted by this fluid column on the cross sectional area A. So P is equal to AA get cancelled from numerator and denominator, and therefore pressure exerted per unit area is nothing but H rho G, where H is nothing but height of the fluid column, rho is nothing but density of the fluid which is contained in the vessel, and G is nothing but acceleration due to gravity. So pressure at this point depends upon height of the fluid column, density of the fluid, and the acceleration due to gravity. Clear? So thus the pressure P due to a liquid of density rho at rest and at a depth h below the free surface is H rho G. So now we got the expression for the pressure due to the liquid column at depth h. Now we know that the fluid which is at rest exerts pressure on the surface with which it is in contact, and we just now derived the expression for pressure due to the liquid column at depth h below the free surface of the liquid. So what is atmospheric pressure? Now as Earth's atmosphere is made up of fluid, namely air, it also exerts a downward force due to its weight, and the pressure due to this force is called atmospheric pressure. So if I consider an air column with unit cross sectional area which is extending from the Earth's surface to the top of the atmosphere, so whatever is the weight of the air column in that region will exert a force on the cross sectional area, suppose 1 centimeter square. So if I divide that force, that is nothing but weight, by area, I will get the pressure which is exerted by the Earth's atmosphere on that surface. Clear? So thus at any point the atmospheric pressure is the weight of air column of unit cross section starting from that point and extending to the top of the atmosphere. So clearly the atmospheric pressure is highest at the surface of the earth, that is at the sea level, and decreases as we go above the surface as the height of the air column decreases. So this can be understood with the thinking in terms of air molecules. If the number of air molecules above the surface increases, then their weight which is exerted on the surface increases, So there are more number of molecules, so more weight is exerted or more force is exerted on the surface, and consequently the pressure increases, where the reduction in the number of molecules above the surface will result in a decrease in the pressure. So as the number of molecules decrease, as height increases above the earth's surface, the number of molecules decreases which are exerting force on the surface, and therefore the pressure decreases. Clear? So atmospheric pressure is defined as the force per unit area exerted against a surface by the weight of the air above that surface. Clear? Now the Earth's atmospheric pressure at the sea level is 1 atmosphere. The atmospheric pressure at sea level is called normal atmospheric pressure. The density of air in the atmosphere decreases with the increase in height and becomes negligible beyond a height of about 8 km. So that the height of air column producing atmospheric pressure at sea level can be taken to be 8 km. The region where gas pressure is less than the atmospheric pressure is called vacuum. And perfect or absolute vacuum is when no matter, that is no atoms or molecules are present. Now pressure is nothing but force upon area. So its SI unit is Newton per meter square, and 1 Newton per meter square is also called as 1 Pascal, which is a smaller unit. But the atmospheric pressure is 1.013 into 10 raised to 5 न्यूटन पर मीटर स्क्वायर, इतना बड़ा होता है एटमॉस्फेरिक प्रेशर. तो हमने एक यूनिट लाया 1 एटमॉस्फेयर विच इज इक्वल टू 1.013 into 10 raised to 5 न्यूटन पर मीटर स्क्वायर, which is equivalent to 1 bar pressure, and 1 bar pressure is nothing but 10 raised to 5 Newton per meter square. हम इसको मर्क्यूरी के हाइट में भी, मर्क्यूरी कॉलम के हाइट में भी मेजर कर सकते हैं 760 mm of Hg, which is nearly equal to 760 टॉर्स. तो टॉर भी यूनिट है प्रेशर मेजरमेंट के लिए. नाउ व्हाट डू मीन बाय 1 एटमॉस्फेरिक प्रेशर, 1 एटमॉस्फेयर? तो हमें पता है कि अर्थ का एटमॉस्फेयर हैज अ मास ऑफ अबाउट 1.03 kg, which exerts a force which is equal to its weight, that is 1.03 into 9.8, which is equal to कितना होगा 10.1 Newton. So this is the force exerted on the unit cross sectional area, suppose 1 centimeter square. तो अगर हम प्रेशर फाइंड आउट करते हैं तो 10.1 upon 1 centimeter square, this pressure is nothing but 10.1 Newton per centimeter square, which is equal to 101 kilonewton per meter square. क्लियर? इतना होता है वो प्रेशर. तो अगर हम इसको पास्कल्स में लिखते तो होगा 101 किलो पास्कल्स, और इसको अगर हम और अच्छे से सॉल्व करते तो दैट विल बी 1.01 into 10 raised to 5 Newton per meter square. So this is the 1 atmospheric प्रेशर. तो वहां से हमें ये वैल्यू मिला है. क्लियर? तो एज न्यूटन पर मीटर स्क्वायर और पास्कल ये स्मॉलर है यूनिट प्रेशर मेजरमेंट के लिए, तो ये एक बड़ा प्रेशर है एटमॉस्फेरिक प्रेशर यूनिट, दैट इज 1 एटमॉस्फेयर इज इक्वल टू 1.013 into 10 raised to 5 न्यूटन पर मीटर स्क्वायर. Now we will discuss what is gauge pressure and absolute pressure. So for that purpose we will consider a vessel containing a fluid of density rho. Suppose we have considered water which is filled in the tank. Now assume an imaginary cylinder which is of water within the fluid, and its cross sectional area is suppose A and height is h, which is equal to x1 minus x2, where x1 and x2 are the heights which are measured with respect to reference point. So x2 is the height which is measured with respect to this reference point, and in the upward direction height increases, and x1 is the height of this level with respect to the reference point, which is nothing but bottom point. Clear? So x1 and x2 are the heights measured from the reference points, and height of the cylinder is nothing but x1 minus x2, which is equal to h. Now we'll find out the forces which are acting on this fluid cylinder or liquid cylinder. So here suppose P2 is the pressure at this level and P1 is the pressure at this level. So the forces which are acting on this cylinder are for the upper surface, top surface, the force acting is F1, which is due to the weight of the water column above the cylinder, and it is acting in the downward direction. Then at the lower surface on this cross sectional area, the force acting is F2, which is due to the water below the cylinder, and it is acting in the upward direction. So F1 is in the downward direction on this surface and F2 is in the upward direction. Next, the mass of the fluid in a cylinder is suppose M. So the weight of the cylinder or weight of the fluid in the cylinder is nothing but M into G. So weight of water enclosed in the cylinder is mg, which is acting in the downward direction. So that is the gravitational pull, and it is acting in the downward direction. Now as this water or fluid is not moving anywhere, so this is in static equilibrium, and therefore we can write down here that the forces are in balance condition, that is F2, which is in the upward direction, is balanced by the two forces, that is F1, which is in the downward direction, and mg, that is nothing but the weight of the water column. So F2 is equal to F1 plus mg. Clear? And P1 and P2 are the pressures at the top and bottom surfaces of the cylinder. Clear? So यहाँ से हम find out करेंगे what is absolute pressure and gauge pressure. Now at the top surface of the cylinder, the pressure is P1, which is equal to F1 upon A, and therefore F1 is equal to P1A. And at the lower surface of the cylinder, the pressure is P2, so F2 is equal to P2A. तो हमने ये कंसिडर किया है कि प्रेशर डिफरेंस है P1 है ऊपर और नीचे कितना है लोअर सरफेस पे P2. Now mass of the fluid which is in a cylinder or mass of water column which is in cylinder is equal to volume into density. Now rho be the density of water and V is nothing but its volume. So as the height of the cylinder is x1 minus x2, which is h, and the area, cross sectional area of the cylinder is A. So volume is nothing but A into x1 minus x2. So mass of the fluid in a cylinder is rho into A into x1 minus x2. So substituting these equations 2 and 3 in first equation, that is F2 is equal to F1 plus mg, will get P2A. Instead of F2 will substitute P2A, which is equal to F1. So we will substitute P1A plus rho A x1 minus x2 into G, that is mg. M is nothing but rho A x1 minus x2, that is rho A h. Clear? So this is the equation after substituting. So A get cancelled from both the sides, that is from right hand side and left hand side, and therefore we will get P2 is equal to P1 plus rho x1 minus x2. So x1 minus x2 is nothing but height of the fluid cylinder. Clear? Imaginary cylinder. So this is the relation between pressures at the top surface and at the bottom surface of the cylinder in a fluid. Clear? So there is a pressure difference, and that pressure difference is nothing but P2 minus P1, which is equal to rho x1 minus x2. तो कहाँ पे प्रेशर ज़्यादा है? तो P2 प्रेशर ज़्यादा है, जो कहाँ पे एक्ट कर रहा है? At the bottom surface of the cylinder. Now from here we will find out the absolute pressure and what is gauge pressure. So pressure due to an imaginary cylinder of liquid at a depth h below the liquid surface हमें find out करना है. So let the top of an imaginary cylinder be at the surface of liquid. तो यहाँ पे हमने consider किया there is a fluid containing vessel. This is nothing but an imaginary cylinder of fluid. So top surface of the cylinder is in contact with the free surface of the liquid. तो यहाँ पे ये surface liquid surface के साथ है touch में. तो यहाँ पे इसका height कितना है with respect to the reference point? तो this x1 is equal to 0. तो surface से ही x1 का height कितना हो गया? 0. And x2 is nothing but height of this bottom surface with respect to the surface of liquid. Clear है? So that x2 is at a depth of h, and therefore x2 is equal to minus h. Now pressure on the liquid surface is nothing but atmospheric pressure. So P1 is equal to P0, and the P2 is the pressure at this level, which is equal to suppose P. Now substituting all these values in this equation that we have derived just now, P2 is equal to P1 plus rho x1 minus x2. So P2 is nothing but P, pressure at this level, that is at depth h, which is equal to P0, which is nothing but atmospheric pressure, plus h rho g. तो हमने x1 minus x2 कितना सब्स्टिट्यूट किया यहाँ पे, that is nothing but height of the cylinder, which is h. So P is equal to P0 plus h rho g. Now what is P and what is P0? So P is nothing but total pressure or absolute pressure at a depth h below the surface. तो यहाँ पे P जो प्रेशर आ रहा है वो किसकी वजह से आ रहा है, वो एटमॉस्फेरिक प्रेशर और ये जो फ्लूइड कॉलम है उसका प्रेशर ऐड होके जो टोटल प्रेशर आएगा वो प्रेशर है P, which is nothing but absolute pressure. Clear? Which is nothing but absolute pressure at depth h below the surface. And what is P0? P0 is the pressure due to the atmosphere. And h rho g, which is nothing but the difference in absolute pressure and atmospheric pressure, is called pressure due to the liquid at depth h, which is also called as gauge pressure. So gauge pressure is nothing but absolute pressure minus atmospheric pressure. So h rho g is nothing but P minus P0. Clear? So P minus P0 is nothing but h rho g, gauge pressure. Atmospheric pressure is nothing but P0, and the absolute pressure, which is also called as total pressure, is P, which is P0 plus h rho g. Now to find the atmospheric pressure at a distance d above the liquid surface, again we'll consider a vessel containing water. So this is a vessel containing water and there is a free surface of liquid, and we need to find the atmospheric pressure at a distance d above the liquid surface. Now as you move up, जैसे जैसे आप अपर डायरेक्शन में मूव करते हो वैसे वैसे जो एयर कॉलम में जो प्रेशर एक्सर्ट कर रहा है उसका लेंथ क्या होते जा रहा है, कम होते जा रहा है, एंड देयरफॉर द प्रेशर डिक्रीजेस इन द अपवर्ड डायरेक्शन. तो यहाँ पे जो प्रेशर एक्ट हो रहा है ऑन वाटर सरफेस, दैट इज एटमॉस्फेरिक प्रेशर P0. सो P2 at this level is P0 and x2 is nothing but the level of this bottom surface with respect to some reference point. तो यहाँ पे यही अगर reference point लिया तो x2 क्या हो गया, 0, and x1 with respect to this reference point is nothing but d height. So x2 अगर x1 में से माइनस होता है x1 minus x2, this is nothing but the height of the cylinder which is equal to d. तो ये height पे हमें क्या find out करना है, atmospheric pressure, जो obviously इससे क्या होगा, कम होगा, क्योंकि अपवर्ड डायरेक्शन में मूव करेंगे तो एटमॉस्फेरिक प्रेशर क्या होते जाएगा, डिक्रीज होते जाएगा. नाउ जो पहले हमने इक्वेशन यूज किया था वो क्या है, P2 इज इक्वल टू P1 प्लस x1 minus x2 into rho g, where x1 minus x2 is nothing but height of the cylinder, that is suppose here in this case it is d. तो when x1 हम find out करते तो x1 कितना है, it is d, and at that point the pressure is suppose P1 which is equal to P. When x2 is equal to 0, that is the water surface, the pressure is P2 which is equal to P0 which is atmospheric pressure, and rho is nothing but rho air, क्योंकि ये जो सिलेंडर है वो किससे बना हुआ है, एयर का बना हुआ है, and therefore the density of air. So इस इक्वेशन में अगर हम फाइंड आउट करते P1 का वैल्यू तो P1 is nothing but P2 minus x1 minus x2 rho g. Now what is x1 minus x2? x1 minus x2 is nothing but d, and therefore P1 is equal to P2 minus d rho g. But what is the value of P2? P2 is nothing but P0. And what is the value of P1? P1 is nothing but P. So pressure at this height d above the liquid surface is nothing but P0 minus d rho air g. So P0 is the pressure at this level, P is the pressure at this level, जो क्या है, d rho air g से लेस है, किससे, P0 से. So यहाँ पे ज़्यादा प्रेशर है और यहाँ पे क्या है, कम प्रेशर है, और वो कितना कम हो गया, जितना ये प्रेशर एक्सर्ट करेगा इस सरफेस पे उससे ये प्रेशर क्या हो जाएगा, कम हो जाएगा, एंड देयरफॉर P which is the pressure at this level is equal to atmospheric pressure minus the pressure due to this fluid column or air column, that is d rho air into G. Clear? So thus as height increases in atmosphere, the pressure decreases in the upward direction. Thank you.